already. All right, there we started. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right. All right. All right. You know, it's TV over here, and you got Nora over there. He wanted me to do the intro today for no specific reason at all, so that's what we're doing, and and that's what we're doing. All right, we're here. We're here. So I'm gonna start it off with the question, with the very, very, very important question that we have to ask ourselves. All right. So the question is: imagine you were born a guy. Okay, I'm saying a question, then he gonna walk away. That's fine. That's fine. He can still. I hope he can still hear me. Okay.
I got you on
all
the
right.
can,
So
I got his head. Yeah.
all right, cool. So the important question is this: let's say you were born a guy, and then one day you decide to change genders to a woman. Would you drive now as a woman or as a guy? How would you drive? What are your tendencies?
I think I
Okay,
drive like a crazy person. So
Like,
a
okay.
woman.
A woman. Okay. Because I was thinking, I'm like, okay, so let's say I change gender. Would my male tendencies just go away? You know?
No.
So this is the real nail biter here. If you change, if I'm a man and I change to be a woman, do I start having periods?
No.
You know?
Like,
Are you sure?
No, I'm positive. Like, do you start having mood swings and shit? Like, maybe.
No, well, that probably because of all the pills you got to take to fucking all that shit. But I'm saying, do you have periods? Let's say you cut your dick off and you get vagina. Do you have periods?
No.
Final answer?
Final answer.
According to a recent study.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm bullshitting you. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, no, because a period is when, like, so like an egg drops in the uterus, and then a period happens that gets rid of that egg, and then comes the lining of like the uterus comes out. It's like a whole thing. It's like pretty strictly women.
I did not know that. I did not know that though.
I'm pretty sure it's just like an egg has to drop to like begin a period or something.
Okay. Well, if there's any women watching, which they probably aren't,
I just know it all happens in the uterus. That's what I know for sure.
And so, if you get your dick cut off and you get a vagina, you still don't have a uterus, right? Is that true? So how do you think they pee? You know?
So it's
Like,
fucked
do
up.
they just-
I know how they pee. It's fucked up.
How do you know how they pee?
Because I watched some weird videos.
Oh no, that
Dude,
is
so
not good.
literally what they do.
That is not good.
Dude, so when you like change your shit into a vagina, they put,
Why?
like,
Hold on. Why were you watching video?
dude. It's one of those like late night wormholes, you know what I mean? Where you're just like watching shit, and then like a link takes you to Reddit, and then now you're in Reddit videos, and you're like, no,
once you're in Reddit, you're not going back, dude. Once you're Reddit, dude, you're not going back.
No, but I found out. So they give you a fake vagina, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so when they give it to you, they basically put like a tube in there to keep like the hole open. Like it's either one or two. I don't know how many holes they give you, but they put like a tube in there to keep the hole open. And then progressively, like the tube gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you gotta like keep it in there for like I think like the first couple weeks, and then it's like, whenever.
This is how they get a vagina.
This is how they get a vagina. To keep it open because obviously the body.
So they cut your dick. Yeah. So they cut your dick and then they try to keep it open.
Yeah, because your body is
Basically.
trying to heal.
Yeah,
because your body's like,
heal.
what is going on?
Which is crazy.
So
is fucking crazy.
You know, like,
but
it's basically like the same concept as like a gauge. Like you know how people like keep getting bigger and bigger gauges, and then eventually like their ears like a fucking hula hoop.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, and then eventually, I think they only got to have it like when they sleep, or maybe it's like once a week. But yeah, no, they have to like constantly be going like to the doctor and like getting their shit checked out. Like it's like a lifelong change. Like you don't live a normal life after you cut your penis off.
That's sad. I don't know why anybody would want to do that, bro. Dude, one of my biggest fears, I'll say it on the pod, is meeting a woman that used to be a man. and me like thinking she's hot, and
Oh.
like me like making out with her, and then her being like, I used to be a man, you know, like even if she has like a vagina now, like I
Yeah.
can't, like I would be traumatized, bro. I would be traumatized,
The thing is, you gotta look right here.
bro. Okay, bro. See, that's some bullshit, bro. Cause I be looking, bro. I be looking
And
like
the
sometimes, you know, like
hands
I'll
are a
be
big
scrolling.
giveaway, too.
Okay. Hold up. So I'll be scrolling on Tinder, right? And sometimes like you'll see a girl, and you can kind of tell like you can kind of tell that they have a lot of surgery. You know what I'm saying? And when a girl has a lot of surgery, it's usually like a sign, right? But anyways, they have a lot of surgery, and it says on the bottom, it says trans woman.
Mm.
So then I start watching, like looking at the pictures to see if I see that, And a lot of times, I swear I don't.
Yeah, but
like
pictures,
maybe I don't.
there could be filters. It could be a lot.
But that's what I'm saying. But like with other women, like I see the same little thing, bro. It's like I don't even have a bump, bro. Really. I mean, yeah, kind of right there.
Yeah, like if you gave me a lineup of like 10 necks, and like some of them are guys, some of them are girls, I don't know 100% if I could tell you which was which. But
Dude, no way.
I bet I'd get a passing grade. I'd get a C.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. You definitely. Yeah, that was weird. I definitely think I'd get a passing grade, but it's like some slip by, you know, and I'm like, damn, she's cute. But then like you can kind of tell it's like if they have a lot of plastic surgery. Now every time I see a girl with a lot of plastic surgery, I start thinking to myself, this might be a guy. But what I've found out is that most of them, they're not trying to hide it. They're advertising it, you know? They're like proud that
Right.
they used to be a guy. Like I don't understand why, but they're not hiding it, you know? And so that I respect. I respect that at least. That they're not trying to fool you, you know? They're trying to keep it open, which I appreciate. You know? I appreciate that. But that is one of my biggest fears, bro. So hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, literally. That'd be insane. I'd be so pissed. I feel like I'd have to fight him. Like I would just have to get the police involved, something, dude. Like I don't know. You can't do that to people.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, have I told you about my buddy? He was drunk and went to Mexico, and he was talking to this trans woman, and all his friends told him she was a trans woman. And he told them, he's like, I don't care.
Oh, okay. If he did it to himself, then whatever. Like I mean,
and then the next day they were cooking him, and he's like, nah, that didn't happen. And they showed him the videos, and he was in disbelief, bro.
That's the problem. Like back in the day, if you went out in the town like 20 years ago and you did some shit like that, nobody would really. You could just deny, and eventually people would either forget, but nobody else would really know other than the people that were there. But nowadays, it's just like, bro, it's on video. Like, you're cooked. Like, you can't even go out and, like, have a good time. I mean, here's the thing. If he's into it, like, cool, be into it. But just, like, don't say you're not gay.
Yeah, because that's gay, bro. That's gay.
Gay.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah, it's 100%, bro. Like, you making out with another man.
Like, if I got a friend that just, like, likes trans girls, it's like, cool, bro. I don't care if you like trans girls. It's like,
he's not my friend anymore, but yeah, he gay, though. That's for sure.
Like, you're gay. You're gay. Like, don't say you're not gay.
Yeah, bro. He's like, but I like trans women, and it's like,
it's like, yeah, and you're gay. It's like, cause why don't you just like regular women?
Something about these trans women make me go crazy, dude. Like think about that. Imagine there's a guy that only likes trans women, right? Like that would make no sense, right? Because it's like
he's just like trying to be gay.
Like a woman. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It's like it makes no fucking sense.
One time, it was this kid that was like, it was this kid on Twitter. Like I saw like a post of a post. You know what I mean? And the kid posted, he goes, I find myself being attracted to feminine trans women. Or like feminine, very feminine looking trans women. What do you call that? And then somebody commented on his post. It was like, a woman, you fucking retard. It's just like,
dude,
bro, you're just
I
like
swear.
straight, but you're just like trying. Honestly, sometimes I feel like it's just like guys that just have no luck with actual women. And
bro,
they're just like,
bro,
well, trans women are like trying to get play too, and then they're
dude,
like easier or something. I don't know.
I'm convinced that like, and I've said this I think to you before. I'm convinced that that's what I think happens with 90% of gay people, is that they don't have any luck with women, so they just turn to the fucking
Yes
same
and no.
sex.
Maybe not. 90% might be big, but like, I mean, if you're 12
I think
years,
it's
if you're
90%.
12 years old and you like think you're into boy, like that's not the reason. You know what I mean?
But okay. When you're 12 years old, you don't fucking know shit.
Yeah, true,
first of all,
true.
and second of all, and the thing is, like, I don't know personally, but I know for a fact that I don't know personally, but I know for a fact. No, I don't know personally, but I can assume that most of those fucking guys, their dick still works for women. It's not like they don't. Like, I remember the fucking gay dude from the Nelk Boys. Do you remember him? And he one time was talking about how this girl was like dancing on top of him. And then Salim was like, yo, so like, did it get hard? And he was like, yeah. And Salim's like, well, so then you're not gay. And he's like, no, you know, and then he just kind of changed topics. But like, even like, it's like,
Okay.
it's not to say that your dick doesn't work for fucking women. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It just, I don't know. And I feel like for men too, it's like once they start to believe it, they can't unbelieve it. You know, they can't unchange that wiring. It's like, it's natural for us to like women. Like nobody ever tells us like, hey, like go like women. You know, like just one day, literally one day, like this girl starts liking you, and then you start liking her back. You don't understand when it happened, but it just happens. You know, and I feel like for some of the people that didn't happen to, that's when they start like, well, what if I, you know, because nobody liked them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Maybe
100%.
I'm wrong.
No, I do kind of get. I mean, yeah, it is very natural, but like some people say that it was natural for them to not feel that.
And I think they're lying to themselves. Like truthfully, dude, I remember I talked to this one guy, and he would tell me how he doesn't remember anything before 10 years old or something like that, before like 10, 15 years old, because he was like, he had a traumatic fucking childhood. But the first thing he remembers is liking a boy, which like, you don't remember anything before 10. How do you know it's like the first thing you remember was liking a boy? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. We'll see. But I swear, if I did a fucking study, I would like to do a study about that. Because I bet you I'm right.
What guys that
guarantee you.
that guys that like never got the girl?
Yeah. Or like they were too shy. Or they didn't have a lot of luck. And so they never fucking really knew if they actually liked girls or not. Yeah. And then once they made up their mind, it's like, you're done, bro. Like for a guy, it's different than a girl, right? A girl can go lesbian and then come back, and they're back every fucking other week, and nobody will say anything because it's a woman.
Do you remember, like speaking
women do that all the time. So many women from our high school did that shit, by the way.
Did what?
So
Sorry?
many fucking women. So many women from our high school went on their lesbian phase for like 2 years, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm not a lesbian," and then went back. You know. But a guy does that? Hell no. That guy's gay for the rest of his life.
You're gay.
Fuck that. Yeah, for the rest of his life.
It's like a lot of work to put a dick in your mouth. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
I mean, the low key, like that girl is gay forever too.
Yeah, but it's different. It's different for.
Because it's a lot of work to put a dildo in your mouth too.
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
But
anyways, what were you saying?
Do you remember? I don't even know where this came up from. Like the girls in high school that you were just like, no, that's the one for sure. Where that was just like the one you wanted so bad, but then like there was obviously a couple where like nothing ever happened.
Well, we were talking about them after the pod the other day.
Were we? Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
were.
but remember? Yeah, we were.
Yeah. But it's just like so funny to like think back and like, man, when I was 16, I would have done fucking anything to get that, to get a piece of that. And then now, like looking back, like some of them, I look back and I'm like, should have tried harder. And some of them, I'm looking back like, I can't believe I was tripping like that.
I know, dude.
It's like at least a couple of them I got to take down. If I got to take down none of them, I'd regret it, dude. I'd want to go back to high school.
Dude. Oh, 100%. But the thing is also, we had a big sample size. Like our high school was huge.
Yeah.
So it's not like we were in this little ass town with 2 hit girls and then we went to Michigan State, you know, a big ass college. Like then of course you're going to see more beautiful women. But in our high school, we saw a lot of beautiful women.
So many.
There were a lot of beautiful women.
Yeah, there were so many to want.
It was so many beautiful
And there was
women,
also so many guys on the opposite end for them to want.
I wish.
A medium-sized high school, like if so we went to like 3, you know what I mean? If just one of them was like the sample was like the size, I think a lot more people would have gotten a lot.
It would have been different, completely different, 100%. Yeah, dude, I wish, bro, I was there for middle school. I wish I was there, like in the States for middle school. So then my freshman year, my dream, which it sucked because I was already a sophomore when this was my dream. But like my dream was when I was a freshman to get a senior girl to like invite me to a party, like in One Tree Hill, you know, where they invite me to a fucking where they invite me to a party, not go with the fucking senior, you know, and I'm a dog, you know, like. But that never happened.
Never.
And in One Tree Hill, they make it seem like the freshman is this. It looks exactly the same as the seniors.
Yeah.
But when we were freshmen, I looked like a fucking
dude. Because I remember walking around, dude. When I was a senior, I had a full beard, bro. When I was when I walk around and like looked at freshman senior year, I'm like, dude, are these kids supposed to be here?
I look at them now. Bro, go look at them now. Go look at some of these kids freshman year, and you're like, yo, what the fuck, man? I mean, they look like they're like if I didn't see them in high school, I would literally think they're 10 years old.
Oh,
like
100%.
12.
Like like the small Indian kids with like the giant backpacks.
Oh,
like,
the Indian
dude.
I swear puberty hits Indian people so late. It's so sad. I mean,
ridiculously late.
And the backpack is bigger than them, you know?
Dude, every time. Like the small little
they
Indian
got
girls.
the Nike Elite backpacks. They got the Nike Elite.
Yes. All the Indian, and then all like the Indian girls had like those big ass purple backpacks with 100 fucking zippers on it. And you're like, jeez. But you know, if you ever had like a class with her, like an elective, you knew she had a pencil for you. You knew she did.
Oh.
And she was happy to give it too.
Oh, yeah. She was happy to know that it was never going to be returned.
No, I always returned pencils. I always did.
Oh, yeah. I have
never to my teacher, though. Never to my teacher. I always jacked my teacher's pencils.
Dude, do you remember any teacher that was extremely hot? I'm trying to think of like any of the teachers we had
middle school teacher,
that I thought
I had 2 middle school teachers that were bad.
Dude, I had my algebra teacher was really bad. In Canton, her name. I can't remember her name, but she was blonde.
Miss Cole Oh no, there was a teacher in. I had her, but I switched out of the class. I kind of wish I didn't. But Miss Kolkunchik, I had her in middle school, and then I had her again junior year. She like went from my middle school to
she was bad.
High school. Yeah, she was pretty bad. I can't believe I said her name like that. That's crazy. But
yeah, I know. Same. I did not think.
But she was a cheerleader on the Pistons. Like so, she had like nudes out on Google that you can find. It was crazy.
Oh, wow. That's not good.
It wasn't good. But and then I had another teacher in middle school. She was a health teacher, but I forget her name, which is crazy. Ian would remember her too. I feel like it was Miss H or something. I'm going to call her after this.
But anyways, I do have a question I want to ask you, okay? While you're still thinking about the name. I'm going to ask you this question, all right? How do you feel about, I feel like everywhere I go now, right? I'll be going to fucking Subway, right? Or I'll be going to McDonald's on the drive-thru. And then I'll fucking pay, I'll tap. And then after I tap, They give me a receipt. Please sign. And then at the bottom it says tip. You know? It says tip. And I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna tip you for? For frying a fucking spicy McChicken, bro? Like, I'm not gonna tip you for shit. And now everywhere you go, it has that little line that says tip. And
Yeah,
it
it's
pisses
crazy.
me off because every time I feel bad, but then
I
I
know.
never tip them. Fuck them.
Dude, I used to. Recently I've been getting better at like, dude, I don't want to fucking tip. No fucking tip. But like when they're like sitting at the register, like watching you click like no tip on those little fucking digital, dude, like it's like pressure. They're putting the pressure on me. Yesterday,
And it's like, I bought a coffee for $5, bro. I'm gonna tip you what, 3? You know, like what the
dude,
fuck?
yesterday I went to Menchie's, bro. Menchie's frozen yogurt that you get yourself,
Oh, yeah.
put the toppings yourself. The only thing they do is ring it up. Boom, tip pops up. This girl is looking dead at me the whole time. I scan my card. I feel her looking at me. No tip. I click no tip right in her fucking face, dude. I'm tired of that tip shit.
Like, what the hell are you gonna tip her for? You
Like-
know, like that's my thing. Like, what the hell am
And
I
I
gonna
feel
tip her
bad
for?
too, even though I shouldn't feel bad. I feel bad. Like I'm
That's-
not going back to Menchie's. End of the day.
But I also have to give a lot of credit for them including it, because I bet you those people make so much money off tips now.
Yeah,
So much money just because of the simple fact
Dude,
of
I-
guilt. People, guilt, like
yeah. I
guilt
bet you a
trip,
lot
know
of
what I'm
people
saying?
don't even get the tip too. Cause like who really gets? The
Oh,
tip?
I know.
If you're just
No,
at
I
the
disagree with
register
that.
and all you did was pay, and all I did was pay you, do you get the tip? Does the guy in the back get the tip? Does the whole team split it, or does just the
Well,
fucking?
but most of the time, yeah, that's true. Like a place like McDonald's, I don't know who would get the tip, honestly.
place like
but
Menchie's, who gets a tip? Really?
well, the only person that's working there.
Yeah, but
Like
what
at
if
the
they
end of the
don't?
night. Oh yeah, at the end of the night, it'll show how much they made off tips, and then it'll give you. I mean, it's the same thing as like working as like a waiter.
Maybe.
Absolutely, 100%. But I mean, I don't know. The only place I really tip is Subway, because I used to work there, and so I
And they
feel
make
like
the
a sense
sub.
of pride.
They make the sub. They
Yeah.
put it together for
And-
you.
but
I'll tip at
but it's
Jersey
not really
Mike's.
why.
I don't go to
I
Subway
won't tip
anymore.
at Jersey Mike's.
I'll
I won't tip
Jersey
at any
Mike's.
other sub shop. I'll only tip at Subway. Because
Well,
the thing is, they're
actually, I
making
only go to-
$20 an hour. They're making $15 an hour. Like, I'm not tipping you if you're making $15 an hour. You know? And like, I feel like back then I didn't. Like, if I was working at Jersey Mike's, like I know Noah used to work at Jersey Mike's. He barely got tipped, man. Like, if I know my boys that used to work there didn't get tipped, I'm not gonna tip you just because the fucking screen says I should tip now. Hell
Dude,
no.
and what bothers me is there's a 15, 25, and 30% option. That blows my mind. 30%?
I know.
Like, what
I
the
know.
fuck?
And sometimes they don't even put the 15%.
On a
Sometimes they put
froyo?
20, 25, 30. You know, it's crazy. I
Fucking
mean, sometimes I also think I shouldn't tip a bartender, you know? Because sometimes, but like, that's always been the case, so I always will tip. Like, every time I go to like the bar or a restaurant, I'll always tip the waitress. But
Yeah,
a lot
of
of times I think about it, and I'm like, they've done nothing. Like, nothing. Like, sometimes I'll sit at the bar, I'll ask for one beer. So she just poured it. That's it. And I still will tip her. Even the beer's $5, I'll tip her $5. Because it's like, at least I got to tip you $5.
Yeah, I
know?
tip what I think is worthy. I mean, in that situation,
absolutely.
If that situation, like, especially if I'm like just grabbing one beer real quick with my homie, I'll just make sure I have cash on me. Beer's $5. I just put 6 on the table, say keep it.
Do you think if we ever got famous, like people would expect us to tip a lot more?
100%.
100%. I feel bad for famous people because like every time they go and then they're getting waited on, they're like, oh my God, he's going to tip me $1,000, you know, $5,000. But it's like, if he did that every time, he would be broke. Like he wouldn't have any fucking money.
Because
He
like you
can't
hear
just
how
tip
like
that.
Shaq always tips, like how Shaq's always a big tipper.
Yeah.
Like you'll see videos of that
But-
shit, but like Shaq's fucking worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Yeah, let him be a big fucking tipper. But I bet you Shaq
Hundreds of
I bet you
millions.
Shaq ain't tipping at fucking Menchie's.
Yeah, exactly. And I bet you he's not doing it every time. Like I bet you like those times where like you've heard about it, it was like a special like
Well,
thing
no,
that
he's
happened.
probably doing it every time at a restaurant. At a restaurant, I always leave a good tip. If I'm eating,
I always leave a good tip at a restaurant. Yeah,
and
I
if
always
like
leave. More than
well,
20%.
even like a bar. If I have a waitress and she brings me and my boys like 4 or 5
Same.
pitchers, like, and I'm also the guy at the table. I'm like, when I get a new pitcher, I'm like, hey yo, can I get a fresh cold glass?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm like,
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna enjoy
I'm a
myself.
needy
You know
guy.
what I mean? And you're gonna
Yeah.
get the tip you deserve. And the faster I get
absolutely.
my shit, the bigger the tip you get. Like
Absolutely,
if I'm
absolutely.
sitting at the bar and I'm on my 3rd beer, and every time I order a beer, it takes me 10, 15 minutes to get a beer, you're not getting a good tip.
She probably still will because I'm on my 3rd beer, so I won't care at that point.
No.
You know, but
Oh, I care. I care the whole time because I'm sitting here with an empty beer
I always
and
care.
no
I always
service.
care, yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck am
I
I out
always-
for? If I was at home, I could watch
I
this
always
same
care.
fucking game or fight and be at my fridge, getting way cheaper beer.
But like, I also think too, like talking about like the famous people tipping, like that most people don't really understand like how much money these famous people have. Like they think they have an unlimited amount of money because they're famous. But it's like these people do have a lot of money, don't get me wrong. But like I bet you waited on people that have more money than them. I bet you.
Oh,
You just
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know it. You just don't know it, you know what I'm saying? And they don't advertise it, and they're just leaving you 25%. But also too, if I had shit ton of money, right? If I had a shit ton of money and I went to like a restaurant, I wouldn't just tip you $1,000 because I have it. Like I would tip you based on the work that you did, you know? And it's like if you were a really good guy, if I feel like you deserve it because like I don't know, you were generous or whatever, I would tip you like a hefty amount, right? But most of the time, I probably wouldn't because I don't know. I don't feel like you did $1,000 worth of a job.
But, like,
you know?
imagine somebody like super famous, like Brad Pitt or like Joe Rogan. Like, say they go
Yeah.
to like this like a spot like in town, they're like on the road, whatever the fuck, and they go to a spot and they're like, the owner comped the bill, like it's free, and then you're like, well, fuck, like now this waiter's got to get like a fucking 300% tip, like whatever the fucking bill was, that plus 100% needs to go to the waiter. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. 100%.
Well, like I guess that's like once you get there, like once you
But,
got
like-
Joe Rogan money, it doesn't really fucking matter.
And also, like, I feel like most of those famous people, they don't go to these random places, you know?
Yeah, they go.
Dude,
to
have
the
you seen
spots.
that? Bro, but have you seen that video of like Adam Sandler like going into a IHOP with like a mask and they denied him? Like they told him like there was a wait and so he just ended up leaving
No.
because they didn't recognize it was Adam Sandler. And he didn't say anything because like Adam Sandler doesn't really go like out advertising shit, but
That's funny as
pretty
fuck.
fucking funny. Yeah, and you can literally see it on like the camera of the IHOP and it's like Adam Sandler like walking in and he's like asking to be seated. They're telling him there's a wait and he just leaves. That shit is funny.
Man, I bet you when like the owner of that restaurant found out, they were like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, they
did we
were
do?"
so pissed. They were probably so pissed. So pissed. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck tipping. Unless
I
it's a
agree.
service job.
I know. So, anything you want to talk about? Anything that's been on your mind? The protests in California, anything?
That's crazy. I didn't realize it was that bad. They're burning down the self-driving cars and shit. That's crazy.
Have you
I
heard
don't even
about
know why
that?
they're doing it. Why are they protesting?
Because of they deported somebody, I'm pretty sure.
They deported somebody?
I'm pretty sure they apparently deported somebody that was a US citizen or something like that. But he was related to a gang and so I don't know.
What happens is I think there's a mix of like a protest going on, but then it unfortunately people start looting and burning shit down, and that's when it becomes a problem. Cuz like a lot of the times it's just like local businesses that are getting fucked up. Like if you want to burn down the Louis Vuitton store, like it's fucked up, you shouldn't do it, but it's different from burning down fucking some brick and mortar mom and pop shop. Or some guy that finally got to open a fucking coffee shop and got it off the ground, even though he's 3 blocks in every direction away from a Starbucks.
Dude, those people that protest, I have zero sympathy for, bro.
And just like, how do you think you're
think
well, no, if you're protesting, protest. I believe in protesting. But it's the looting that happens like after the looting and the fires is where I think it's bad.
but you have to understand, bro, that always happens because you're protesting. Like, yes, you can, in a perfect world, do a peaceful protest. But that also won't get anything done either. Like, what's the point of protesting? To get shit done, right? Like, you have an agenda as much as they do, right? And you want your agenda to be done, right? And so that's why you're protesting. But, like, does protesting really get anything done? Has protesting ever got anything done?
It depends how many people protest.
I mean, yeah, I would say protesting has
when you think about it, like, when you think about
protesting has
even way back in the day.
Yeah.
Like protesting, like the civil rights movement, like those protests did something.
They did,
and they were only really violent, to the best of my knowledge, on like the police, like on the police to the people. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then, but it's like depending on how many people. But like when you look back, like, I mean, in like the 1700s, when like Americans were protesting like taxation all the way from Britain, that protest ended up just leading to a fucking war.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I get that, but so like I also feel like that's completely different than how it's been the last, I want to say 20 years, 15 years. Like now we protest about the most silly fucking shit, and so now nobody takes any protest seriously.
Yeah. Like, it's like, not like a good movement behind it. It's like fucked.
Like, and there's not anymore. Like, I can't remember the last thing that, like, I don't know. Dude, have you seen the guy? I think I talked to you about him on the pod before, but he goes to a protest where like the federal workers are protesting about keeping their job, and he goes with like a Doge shirt.
I saw it. It was horrible. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. Grown men acting like children, like they don't have a fucking job.
And he's there, and he's like, "What day is it today?" And they tell him the day. It's like a Thursday, and he's like, "What time is it?" And their answer, they're like, "It's noon." Why? Why do I know? And it's like, "Well, it's a Thursday, noon, and you're protesting. Is your job really that important?" and then they get mad and they start yelling at him. But like, he's making total sense, you know. Like, think about what the fuck you're doing in the middle of the day, you know. Clearly,
like some protests work like when there's like a UPS protest, and then all of them get raises. Well, it's like, well, fuck, like, yeah, like if a bunch of people don't go to work for like a company, or like when a bunch of nurses protest.
That's when works, yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure they got raises or something. But
the only problem is when that happens and UPS workers get raises, guess who ends up paying more? The customer. We end up getting paid more. We end up having to pay more, you know?
Yeah, for like shipping and shit. But that's because it's corrupt anyways. Like, they had money to give them raises.
Yeah, they do, but they're gonna, like, the thing is, like,
but they're not gonna. We have to understand. They're not gonna have a worse year this year than they did last year. You know what I mean?
Well, that depends, right? Because like $15 now isn't the same as if it is $15 last year, you know? And so like if they gave them the raise, let's say of $3, right? In 3 years, you're basically making the same amount of money because of all the raises that happened throughout that time. It's like, is raises really like a good thing to be protesting for? Like, if I was to protest anything, I would protest price lock everything for 10 years. Everything. That would be a good protest.
I could see that. Even for like down to like the farmer, like his prices.
Yeah, everything. And then you don't even have to increase my pay. At that point. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because every year we ask for increases, right? We ask for increases because, I don't know, we're more valuable or whatever. But everything keeps going up. So our increases don't actually create a gap. And that's the problem. But if we never asked for increases, we never got paid increase, and prices didn't increase, there would be a gap because you would eventually start saving, you know?
Yeah, but wouldn't things eventually start to decline? Like if there's no growth, because if everything's the
How,
same price, like eventually things have to either grow stagnant or decline.
not necessarily. How? Why?
Like how do you get more though? I feel like getting more is like the reason things move forward. Like people want more, so like things move forward. Like people wanted more. I don't know. Like Steve Jobs wanted to make his company the biggest company in the world, so he just like made more iPhones, made better iPhones, made more, did more.
But
It
that doesn't
was
necessarily mean like a change in price, right? Just because you make more. I guess it does. It's a tricky subject.
like how do you make? Well, then at that point it's a numbers game. How do you make people buy more?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's true. It'd be tough to do that. It'd be
Yeah, I
really
just
tough.
wonder what the implications would be. And like even though like just because it's like that in America, how do we do that around the world?
Well, yeah. I think the problem with America is we're too focused on the world. It's like, well, what about the world? What about the world? It's like first you gotta focus on yourself, buddy. Like it's like
Yeah,
in the
but
plane,
now
you know, they
so
tell you
much
to
of our
put your mask
stuff.
first.
Yeah,
You know,
right. But now it's like so much of our stuff comes from the world.
that's true. That's our fault though. But
Yeah,
that
it is
is
our
true
fault. I just really wonder,
because
like, besides like raw materials that maybe we can't get here, which I don't know.
the
Like,
labor force
yeah, it's just like is labor really that expensive?
in the U.S. Yes,
Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, that's because
dude.
housing is so expensive. Like, it's like everything just keeps getting more and more. It's like a never-ending cycle until it just fucking blows up.
Because of increases. I'm telling it all starts with the pay raise to the employee. That's where I think it all starts is the pay raise. And once the pay raise happens, then they charge more. They do pay more. And then the cycle keeps going on and on. But it starts with the pay raise. Like you think it starts with like the increase in like I don't know, cheese, you know? But it doesn't. It starts with the person who's making the cheese is asking for more money to make the cheese. And the problem is every time somebody's asked for it, we've given it to them. Difference in India and China is they're fucking communist as fucking they don't give a fuck. They have no say and so they don't pay them. So the labor force is dirt cheap. Or
Yeah,
they're kids in Vietnam, you know, or like I don't know. It's like fucked, but I mean, we got it good, you know.
we
We
got it
really
the
did.
best, honestly.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. All right. To wrap this up, I've been reading Matthew McConaughey's Green Light books again. Really great book, right? And I took pictures of well, I'll tell you this. Give me I'm gonna give you I'm a okay. I'm trying to see how to phrase this. I'm gonna give you any number from 1 to 7. You pick any number, how many numbers you want.
Okay.
You can just pick 1. You can pick 2. You can pick 3. You can pick 4. Whatever. But 1 through 7, which numbers?
Okay. Oh, like out loud?
Yeah,
4.
4. That's it. The only number.
Um, I'll take 4 and 1.
4 and 1. All right, good choices. So I'll read you something from what Matthew McConaughey said in his book, right? And then we can wrap it up there. I think it's right at 40 minutes, so not that bad. The monster says, "The future is the monster, not the boogeyman underneath the bed. The past is just something we're trying to outrun tomorrow. The monster is the future, the unknown, the boundaries not yet crossed, the challenge not yet made, the potential not yet realized. The dragon not yet tamed. On a one-way collision course with no turning back, the future, the monster, is always waiting for us and always sees us coming. So we should lift our heads, look it in the eye, and watch it heed. This one. And I was going to read you this, but I think this one is better for what we were talking about today, right? White collar prayers. It says, ever been to a Baptist church in the deep South? They pray real prayers. They pray for things they need. God, if I'm sick, bring me a doctor. God, if I'm sued, bring me a lawyer. God, if I'm cold, bring me a blanket. God, if I'm hungry, bring me some food. Blue collar prayers. Then there's the privileged prayers. They pray fake prayers. They pray for things they want. God, help me win this game. God, make mama buy me that dress. God, give me an Oscar nomination. God, let me get that yacht. White collar prayers. We need to quit asking God to answer these type of prayers. He's busy trying to get a new set of tires.
That's pretty good. Why'd I pick a number, though?
Because I took 7 pictures, and
okay.
I don't want to say all the 7 ones. And then the other one, he says also, where what we want is what we need, where what we need is what we want. So he's basically saying, he's basically saying where what we want is what we need, right? Where what we need is what we want. That's when we're at like perfect equilibrium, right? When they're interchangeable. When what we want is what we need, and what we need is what we want, because they're interchangeable. That's what we should strive for. But it's a great book. I recommend it to anybody wanting to read a book. Green Lights. Read it. I think it's awesome.
Nice. Great endorsement. I think that's all we got.
That's all I got. So I appreciate y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't know if Nor can say anything like that. But
greatest podcast
peace.
in the world.
Yeah. Peace out.